How's it going, everyone? This is Astro here again, and welcome back to another Splatoon weapon analysis video. Today's video is going to be all about the 52 Gal. So let's get started by taking a look at this weapon's typing, stats, and version history. So to start things off, the 52 Gal is a main shooter type weapon in Splatoon that can be purchased from the Ammo Night store for a value of 3,000 coins once you have reached level 5. As for its stats, the 52 Gal has a range of 50, placing the weapon in the mid-range category, allowing it to fight pretty effectively up close as well as a little bit far away. Its damage is very strong, having a value of 70, however its fire rate is a bit on the low side, having a value of 30, so careful aiming is required in order to take down your enemies. As for its base damage, just like its namesake, the 52 Gal has a base damage of 52, meaning that you'll be able to splat your enemies in 2 hits, which is the fastest time to kill for any shooter type weapon. However, if your enemies are using at least one defense up main, it will turn that 2-hit splat into a 3-hit splat, which can be very detrimental for the 52 Gal since it has a low fire rate. So you want to run some damage up to maintain that 2-hit splat at all times. And even though you can play the weapon pretty offensively due to its great damage, in my opinion I would recommend playing a little bit on the defensive side. And the weapon kit helps very well to accomplish that purpose. So for its sub-weapon, the 52 Gal receives the Splash Wall, which is a weapon that will allow you to set up a defensive barrier to shield yourself and your teammates from incoming attacks, and only you and your teammates can pass through the wall. Its only weakness is that you can only have one wall active at any time, so if you accidentally misplace a wall, you'll have to wait until it's destroyed or until it runs out of ink, so that's just something to keep in mind. As for its special weapon, the 52 Gal receives the Killer Whale, which is a giant loudspeaker that, once it's deployed, will splat any enemies that are caught within the sound wave that it projects, and it also travels through walls as well. In addition to that, the Killer Whale also helps the 52 Gal to fight at longer ranges by taking out charges from their perches, and it also helps in competitive modes such as covering the zone and splat zones to give your teammates a safe area to ink the zone, as well as giving your teammates coverage on the tower and knocking your enemies off the tower in tower control. So overall, the 52 Gal is a high-powered weapon that shoots a lot of ink. It has a fast time to kill, and coupling it together with its weapon kit, you'll be able to play a variety of playstyles, whether it's offensive or defensive. As for its version history, the only new change that was made to the 52 Gal was with the introduction of Special Depletion, where the weapon was placed in the medium category. So you'll be losing up to 60% of your special meter in the event you get splatted. As for the Splash Wall, in version 2.1, players will no longer receive damage when hit by a bomb if they are standing behind the wall, which makes perfect sense as the purpose of a wall is to block incoming enemy attacks. However, in version 2.2, the Splash Wall received a couple of significant downgrades. So the first change was that the Splash Wall's resistance against enemy attacks has been lowered by about 40%. This means that advanced techniques such as showering, where a player stands inside the wall to cover his or her hitbox, will no longer be as effective as it used to be. The second change was that the amount of time needed to start recharging your ink tank after using the Splash Wall has been increased from 1.33 seconds to 2.67 seconds. So you definitely want to use an ink efficiency ability such as Ink Saver Main or Ink Saver Sub to retain as much ink as possible after using the Splash Wall. And even though you can use ink recovery up, it will be less effective on its own because of the time change. So I would recommend combining it with Ink Saver Main or Ink Saver Sub if you choose to do so. And finally, in version 2.7, the splash wall will take the same amount of time to activate, regardless if it's used on a slope or on flat ground. So that's just something to keep in mind when using the wall on maps that have a lot of slopes, such as Urchin Underpass and Arowana Mall. As for the killer whale, in version 2.0, the amount of turf that's needed to be inked for filling the special gauge has been decreased from 180 points to 160 points, which will allow you to build your whales a little bit faster. And in version 2.6, just like the ink strike, you'll be able to move a little bit quicker after using the whale, thanks to the decreased period in character control if you have special duration up equipped on your gear. As for recommended abilities to use on your gear, just as I mentioned before, damage up is recommended to counter defense up users, as well as help with fall off damage. Also, any of the ink efficiency abilities, such as Ink Saver Main, Ink Saver Sub, or Ink Recovery Up, is recommended to retain as much ink as possible since the 52 gal consumes a lot of ink. So with that, let's take a look at a gear build that you can use with the 52 gal. So this build is a basic general purpose build that the 52 gal can use. So we're going to begin by selecting our headgear, which will be in the form of either the white headband or the studio headphones. The white headband uses Ink Recovery Up for its main ability, and it features the Squid Force brand, which highly favors damage up, whereas the studio headphones uses Ink Saver Main for its main ability, and it features the Forge brand, which highly favors special duration up. As for our clothes, we can use either the black layered LS, the layered anchor LS, or the anchor sweat. All of the clothes feature the Squid Force brand, which highly favors damage up. However, for its main ability, the black layered LS uses Ink Saver Main, the layered anchor LS uses run speed up, and the anchor sweat uses cold blooded. And finally, for our shoes, we're going to be using the red high tops, which uses ink resistance up for its main ability, and it features the Crack-On brand, which highly favors swim speed up. So overall, this build tries to cover all the bases of the 52 gal, as it gives you an all-around mixed bulk of ink efficiency, damage up, and movement options. As usual, the ink resistance on your shoes will keep you mobile if you happen to be stuck in enemy ink, and the swim speed will help you to retreat or reposition yourself, as well as swim strafe your enemies. However, your selection of headgear and clothes comes down to personal preference. So if you decide to use the white headband, combining it with any of the clothes will allow you to stack damage up, which will help you to take down any defense up user, as well as help with fall off damage. If you decide to use the studio headphones, combining it with the black layered LS will allow you to stack Ink Saver Main, which will help you to fire the 52 gal for as long as possible, as well as retain as much ink as possible after using the splash wall. And the special duration up will help you to move a little bit faster after using the killer whale. However, regardless of the headgear that you decide to use, if you're comfortable with your ink efficiency, you can easily go with the layered anchor LS or the anchor sweat for your clothes, as a way to run strafe your enemies with run speed up, or give yourself coverage against echolocators, point sensors, and hot with cold blooded. But overall, these are all good options to use in my opinion, so you can just mix and match and figure out the best combination that works for your playstyle. But anyways everybody, that's all I have for you in this video, so I'd like to thank you all for watching my analysis on the 52 gal. I hope you found all this information useful. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, as well as sound off your thoughts on this weapon in the comment section below. Also, if there's something that you think I forgot to mention in this presentation, feel free to include that in the comments as well. And subscribe for more videos in the future. But as I stated before, that's all I have for this video. So this is Astro, blasting off, and as always, until next time, take care, stay fresh, and I hope you all have a great day.